Hello everyone to our second episode of OneQuantum Africa videocast, where we host experts and hear about their perspective of how we can develop and enhance quantum research and development in Africa. I am Sahar bin Rashid. I am a research student in nanotechnology at the University of Tunis and Manar in Tunisia. So I'm very happy today to be joined by Farai. Hello, Farai.
Hello, sir. How are you? It's really a pleasure to have you. And my name is Farai. Like Sir said, I'm the president for OneQuantum Africa. OneQuantum Africa is the largest community for quantum tech in Africa. We are also a chapter of OneQuantum, the leading community in quantum tech. And today we are happy to bring you this video cast and host Professor Telmini from Tunisia. I think I will leave Saha to give an elaborate introduction of him. But Professor Telmini is not a stranger to this platform. He has featured on our weekly meetings, and he's also going to be presenting at the Quantum in Africa Summit on May 12 and 13, and we hope to see you there. So back to you, Saha. You can introduce our guest today and take this away.
Yes, thank you, Farai. So Farai and I are very happy and honored to host Professor Mourad Telmini, who is a quantum physics and quantum information theory professor at the University of Tunis and Manar. Hello, Professor.
Hi, Sahar. Hi, Farai. Greetings from Tunis.
A pleasure.
Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. We are very happy to host you today. And our discussion today for the videocast will be about quantum education in Africa. So we would like to discuss the current opportunities for everyone who would like to follow an academic path to learn about quantum technologies and quantum computation in particular. And we'd also like to discuss the future of quantum education in our continent. So thank you so much for joining our discussion today. And we would like to start by what is quantum technology to begin with, and what are the possible applications on which we can focus in Africa?
Yes, thank you very much once again for this initiative. So indeed, the quantum technology is an emerging field, and it is very important that Africa to be engaged in this way. When we speak about quantum technology, actually it means the very recent emerging field that is based on the quantum properties of the matter at the microscopic scale, mainly wave-particle duality, superposition of quantum states, and quantum entanglement. So the applications are many, and the technology, of course, is devoted to develop devices based on these properties. Quantum sensing and metrology, this includes all the devices that are used in metrology, for instance, atomic clocks, for several applications like GPS, timekeeping, etc. Also the fundamental metrology and also applied and industrial metrology, including the new definitions of the units of the international system, like the definition to the Planck constant. So this is the first subfield, the quantum metrology and sensors. So of course the sensors means the devices that are able to measure very precisely some important quantities like the gravitational constant, acceleration with the gyroscopes, etc. So this is the first item. Second important application included in quantum technology is quantum communication based on quantum algorithms for a secure transmission of data. The third one, and very important today, is quantum computing, of course, with the goal to develop a kind of universal quantum computer, which is expected, if everything goes as we hope, to speed up the calculations exponentially and to be able to address some problems which are almost impossible to solve with the computers available today, even the most powerful of them. And finally, let me also mention the quantum simulation, although it is more fundamental, that is simulating condensed matter physics and solid physics with cold atoms in optical lattices and so on. But still, even this subfield can also have some applications, and some kinds of quantum computing techniques like quantum annealing are based on these properties.
Okay, thank you. So indeed, quantum technologies with its various applications are very interesting to follow and to invest in, especially during these years, in order to have a good outcome in the upcoming years. So, Professor, how do you think we can build the capacities and the personnel in order to have a competitive edge, let's say, in quantum research and development? And of course, you are talking about Africa.
Well, of course, this is the first thing to start with. I mean, you cannot make any development or research in a field if you don't have the personnel. So capacity building is a prerequisite. And for this, many actions have to be done and coordinated at different levels. Teaching, of course, at the university, but probably also earlier at high schools, enhancing public awareness about the importance of these technologies and the impact they may have on their daily life through the devices. You know, the first quantum revolution with the first applications of the quantum physics gave us devices like lasers, like transistors, like superconductors, and all these technologies are nowadays used in almost every field, including health, including environment, industry, and even at home in all the devices we have at home. These technologies are used. So it is expected that this new revolution, which will be more powerful, of course, will impact all our life, and we have to be part of that, not only as consumers, but also as developers. But probably we will have the opportunity to be more sharp on these questions today in this podcast.
Okay, thank you. So for everyone who would like to follow an academic path and start learning quantum technologies in universities, how do you think we can develop high-end university programs from the undergrad to the postgrad and research environment in order to really build strong capacities in research and development regarding quantum technologies?
Okay, so the good news is that in principle, in almost all the universities, including African universities, we are not starting from scratch. There are already many curricula, including the basic elements and the basic teaching of mathematics, physics, including quantum physics, computer science. So all these courses are already there in many universities. So we can go further and introduce more specific courses like quantum computing, for instance, quantum metrology, etc. For instance, in master degrees in physics departments, this can be a good starting point, but also in schools of engineering, in curricula of like computer science engineering, This can be done, I think, quite easily, and we have already an experience with that in some universities, including mine at University of Tunis Al Manar, but not only. South Africa also is leading in this field. There are also some initiatives in Morocco, in Egypt, in many countries, and I think every African country can go through this way.
Okay, but Professor, one might think that integrating quantum curriculum can be costly and can be very consuming and might need really huge investments from universities and maybe governments. So do you think there is a way to develop good programs and hands-on programs in quantum education, starting from high schools maybe, that can be affordable and can be manageable from all parties that are included to develop such programs?
Mm-hmm. So of course, hands-on and practicals are very important in general, and specifically in quantum technology, it is very important. But there are some alternatives. For instance, several big companies are offering platforms that you can access and be initiated and be introduced to the field. You can make some simulations. So actually, with the available resources now on the internet, it is possible to really to go far in the field. Of course, at some point, if you want to make research and development, and you intend to work on the hardware part of the devices, and for instance, why not develop your own quantum computer? You will need more. You will need a budget, etc. But as we are starting in the field, I mean, for most of the countries in Africa, this can help a lot. In general, African students are good or very good in mathematics and theoretical physics, in computer science from the theoretical side, in coding, also in programming. So all these skills can be used and can definitely help to start. If one university reaches a level that allows it to go further and to think about developing devices, at that time, of course, there will be a need to make proposals to the government or other stakeholders to have budgets. But to start, what is existing now can definitely help a lot. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. So perhaps following up on that, it may be a good time for us to start talking about why it is important to look at this in terms of diversity, in terms of regional diversity, in terms of gender, in terms of ethnic diversity. Why is that important to research and science? Is it about ticking the boxes so that we are correct, or it is really important to look at technology development and scientific research with that in mind?
Yes, of course, I think it is obvious that this diversity issue, including gender equality, ethnical issues, racial balance, etc., is very important. It's not only to be political correct, it's really important because with the quantum technology and with the science and technology in general, we are addressing some problems. We want to solve some problems that have impact on the life of people. And these problems are different from one person to another one, or can be specific to some country, can depend on gender or other issues. So it is important to be very careful to take care of the diversity. And regarding quantum technologies, we have the chance that we are just starting, so we can really, from the beginning, make things correctly and be able to build up a kind of comprehensive program, inclusive, that includes everyone, so that we are sure that at the end of the day, at some point, everyone is happy with what we will be able to do, and finds answers to the questions is asking.
Okay, thank you very much. So perhaps focusing more on education and development of quantum tech rather in the continent. What kind of support do you think we need in place to move the field forward in the continent? And what are you seeing, looking at it historically from where we have come from and to where we are going? What needs to happen more in terms of supporting research and development of quantum in Africa?
Mm-hmm. Well, as I said a few minutes ago, we are lucky to not start from scratch. There are already quantum education in several universities in Africa. Of course, the advancement of these programs may depend on the country. Some countries are more advanced than others. But globally, the importance of science and technology in general, and the quantum physics and the quantum technology is increasing. Of course, at the very beginning, you absolutely need the support from the government, for at least for the education part. So the strong political involvement of the governments with the clear policy that encourages science and technology in every single country in Africa is very important. But at some point, this may not be enough. And the interest of business, of companies, of course, is most welcome. And this is not a kind of generosity or a philanthropy just to give money to the university to make kind of blue sky research. Within a few years, the quantum technology will start to enter every field of industry and services, and the companies will at some point will have to hire engineers and technicians and scientists to develop solutions for their future needs. And it is very good investment to put money since now in these fields, and to help the universities, of course, through very clear programs with clear goals to reach, etc. So we need both. We need the government side to be involved, and also other stakeholders, including industry, of course.
Thank you very much for that. Perhaps as a follow-up to that, are there any roles for NGOs, international partners, and other informal networks? We may have people in the diaspora. Africa has got a very successful diaspora community, and are there any ways to tap on those to support growth of quantum in the continent?
Yes, definitely. This is also very important. I was talking about the main stakeholders for funding when speaking about governments and business side. But of course, NGOs and all of the formal networks like OneQuantum Africa. This is very important initiative, and I take this opportunity to congratulate you once again for the efforts you are doing. This is very important. So the role of NGOs at the national level, the scientific societies, etc., is very important to enhance the awareness of the public about the importance of quantum technologies, to make some actions to high school students, and so that they can be interested in these quantum technologies and follow the curricula at the university. But also organize bigger events at the scale of the region or the continent, like the Quantum Africa series of conferences. It's very important actually, and it has an impact on networking and making people working together. And also I'm looking forward to the summit next month. This will be also very good opportunity. So definitely NGOs and formal networks have a role to play. The other point concerns the international cooperation. Of course, this is crucial in general, but specifically for quantum technologies, we know that we are not leaders in this field. We are more followers, but we have to be good followers to catch this emerging field and to be involved at least from the very beginning, to be able at some point to contribute. So being in touch and in close cooperation with the leaders in the world, the best university, the best groups in quantum physics and the quantum technologies is very, very important for Africa, and very important also, by the way, to African universities, for instance, to increase their visibility, their ranking, the quality of their diploma, so the quality of the output they put on the market, etc.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for your kind comments. And I'm really grateful that we've been able to get support, including from yourselves, to make those kind of initiatives take off in Africa. I'll give time back to Saha in case she has any other pending questions that we received from the community as well to bring them forward. I guess I will take that up as well. She may be having issues with the connection, but no, not a problem. Perhaps one last one, Professor, which bothers me, is every time I try to reach out sometimes to the outside world to find support for quantum in Africa, people feel that we have not even found our feet in terms of AI and the other technologies. Why should we care about quantum? They always want us to join later on when the technology is proven. Why is it important that we get involved as the technology is taking off? Perhaps you need to emphasize that once again.
Yes, I understand. I have also the same questions around here. These are natural questions. When you are in an environment with a lot of problems, basic problems of infrastructure in some places, even for food, for water, for people can say, well, why are we looking at these very advanced issues? These are not for Africa. These are only for developed countries. I don't agree with that. It is very important, of course, to make all the efforts we can to address the basic problems of basic needs, water, food, health, infrastructure, logistics, etc. But at the same time, in every country, at least few people should be dedicated to be in touch with the most advanced technologies in every field. So for us, as quantum physicists with this background, it is very natural to us to take this in charge, this part. But this applies for every field. We have to have people that try to be first in touch, and then even to contribute to research and development in the advanced fields, including quantum technology. It's not better to just to wait that the field is already, very far from. We will not be able at some point to to be involved in if the gap is too big between us and the developed countries. So since it is very new, since it is emerging, we can start from the beginning. The difference between us as Africans and the most developed countries is not that big, simply because the field is just starting. So by working since the beginning, we can do our best so that this gap will not grow definitely, but we will be able to contribute efficiently for the benefit of our countries and for our continent.
Thank you very much for that perspective, and I agree with you 100%. I don't think it's a good idea that we take a back seat and allow the conversation to move forward without our contributions and without us being involved, even in a small way. It's not like we are saying, let's build a quantum computer for Africa tomorrow. No, we understand our context and our limitations, but we are saying within that context, let us do the best that we can do and get involved to the extent that we can and contribute to the field instead of waiting forever, because the gap will keep on widening, like you said. So I think thank you very much for your time, Prof, and we really appreciate it. And this is a very important conversation to take forward and to keep going. And we really appreciate your support at OneQuantum Africa in terms of whenever you come through and you present and you share your ideas, and also encouraging us to keep on moving forward. And I just wanted to indicate that we really, really appreciate your contributions and your generosity and making yourself available as well every other time we have something to bring forward.
Thank you very much, Farai and Sahar. It was my pleasure.